Welcome to Live DAF, your online DAF Yomi Shir.
Shalom Aleichem and welcome back to today's DAF Hayemi Bava Kamma DAF Vav. We are on the very first line, Hatzada Shava Shaban. So the Mishnah concludes with this, all-inclusive formula. We mentioned the four avos, right? Shor, bar, etc. What's the common formula that represents all of them? Darkan lahazik, they're liable to do damage. It's yours to look after, and otherwise, if you neglect, if you are careless, you have to pay. Now, why this formula? What's this coming to include? Is there anything we missed? What are we including? Something which is not included, in the avos, and needs a special expression. To include this thing as well. Picture a fellow who left a stone, a knife, a load, something, that can cause damage up on his rooftop, right at the edge. Comes an ordinary wind, not a hurricane. For that you're not responsible. A regular wind knocks it down via ziku and they cause damage. That is what the Mishnah came to include. Now, let's have some more information. What exactly happened? Did they cause damage as they were coming down en route? Well done, that's exactly like a fire. You light it here, it moves elsewhere, and it burns. Why would it be different than Eish? Who's also being manipulated by an external force, by that wind, who's moving him around. Oh, Maicha, it's your thing. It should be under your care. And if you neglect, you have to pay. Haninam here as well. You left your stone, came flying down, crashed into something. It's being led by an external force, for which you're responsible. Right? So, it's fairly simple that you should be chayiv. There's no need to discuss it and to include it as an extra, part of the Mishnah. We're speaking that this thing landed. It was thrown off, it was blown off the roof and it landed on the street. And then, an animal comes by and stumbles on it. And it incurs damage. Well, once again, what exactly happened? Did he render it ownerless? Did he let go of this item? Then it qualifies as a bar. A bar doesn't have to be underground, even above ground. If it's something that you can stumble upon, that's a bar. Of course, you're chai. Bein l'rab, bein l'shmol, either way. They both agree, hanu bar. Why? What's unique about, what defines bar? It's asiya. As it was established as something that has the potential to be mazik. It was made to be mazik. It's your thing. Haninam here as well. As soon as it hits the ground, it's waiting to be mazik. It's a potential mazik. Right? It's your doing, and you have to look after it. Right? So of course it's like bar. So we're speaking that he still maintains ownership. He didn't make it happen. Well, the Shmuel Damar Kulami Bar Lamadnu. According to Shmuel, it says any takala, anything that can cause somebody to stumble, is learned from bar. Even if you own it. You see, the bird, the classic bird, is something which you don't own. You just dug a pit in the street. But Shmuel maintains that any version of bird, even if you own it, is still close enough in nature to bird. So then here as well, I know bird, it's just another variation of bird. Says the Gemara, okay, he was mafkir. But it's not comparable to bird. Let's realize, bird was not created, it was not presented by an external force. It wasn't done in collusion with, with the wind, with the it was something produced by its by its owner as a mazik. Torah Rabbani, as opposed to these items that came flying off the roof and then landed and then presented a bar as a bar. Torah Rabbani shekoich achamur behen. There's another element mixed in. The wind that blew them off the roof. So it's not really a good match to bar. Well, eish techiach. Let's disprove that notion by bringing eish into the fore. Koich achamur of bay is traveling by way of the oxygen as wind, and you're still chayiv. Well, mala eish kein darka leilach lahazik. Eish is darker to go and to harm and to damage, as opposed to this item. Remember, it was not mazik en route, only after it landed. So it doesn't have this element of going down and being mazik, so it's not a good match to eish. Oh, bar techiach. Bar disproves that concern because he's not going anywhere and he's still chayiv. But then you go back and forth. Basically, you can't attribute guilt to this or to that because it's not found in the other thing. Common denominator is that it's your thing, it's your doing, you got to look after it, otherwise you're chayiv. And we include this case as well. Your Evan, your Sakin, your Masa on the roof that flew off, presented as a burr in the street, which caused damage. And that's what the Mishnah is coming to include. So it's not so simple like we thought. It's a chiddush, which can only be derived from this sort of joint formula, this common denominator. Rav gives another example, another option of what the Mishnah had in mind. Lasuya bara misgalgal. The Mishnah sought to include this case. You have a burr, something which can cause, people to stumble or an animal to stumble. Burr misgalgal baragli adam or baragli behema. It's rolling around from place to place. It's being kicked around by people or by animals. So basically, this fellow dropped a stone here, and now it was kicked around and landed on the other side of the street, and it's presenting as a bar. And that's what the Mishnah is coming to include. You're chayiv as well. Hechidami, what exactly happened? Idaf girinu, if it's hefker, bein the rabbi bein the shmuhan a bar, it's exactly a bar. Ma'ishna bar, why would this be any different than bar? Shein tchilas asiyasi lenezek, ushmir asiyah lecha. It started off as a mazik. You have to look after it. Haninam here as well. Tchilas asiyasi lenezek, ushmir asiyah lecha. It started as a mazik, and you got to look after it. Elad lef girinu. Oh, we're speaking that he still owns it. So once again, l'shmol da'amar mekulim bar l'mad. According to Shmuel, it still can be learned from bar. Hainu bar. Then it's another variation of bar. Okay, lo laf girinu. It is hefker. But lo da'amar bar. It's still not comparable to bar. You know why? Mala bar. Bar is so different. Shekain ma'as of gar malay. He dug the pit and presented a bar. Torah Bahani, as opposed to these items which were kicked around from place to place. He put it there. I didn't put it here. Shekain ma'as of she'ain ma'as of gar malay. It's not his doing that brought it here, so it's a little bit different. So you can't really match it up to bar. For that you need to insert a new element of proof. Sure. Liability for one's ox's actions can prove to us that, guess what? You're still chayiv, even though you didn't actually do it 100%. Your animal did it. Well, that's not a good raya. Shar is an advantage over this rock. Because he's going out and acting as an active aggressor. Well, Bar doesn't have that, and still chayiv. B'chazar din, so you go back and forth. Lo yirezek or yirezeh, the element found in this one is not found in the other one. Back and forth. What's the tzad hashava? Right, all that, which leads us to conclude that even the bar misgalgal is chayiv. Rav Ada bar Abba Amar, I'll give you another option. What the Mishnah had in mind. Lasuya de Sanya, the item mentioned in the following price. All these mentioned up ahead, which the Chachamim allowed the people to do. In those days they didn't have an organized sewer system, so basically they would direct their wastewaters, etc., out to the public areas. They can direct their channels, their waters. The Gorfin Marisayim and empty out their pits, so they can do that into the street. But Bava Kamma inam rishus, during the summertime when things are relatively clean, you have no permission to do that. But in the winter time, things are muddy in any case. They can do it, but still you have to be careful not to cause harm. Even though it was permissible, you got to warn people. You got to do it in a way that doesn't harm people. In Miziku, people tripped over it and were damaged. So you have to pay. What exactly happened? So basically, this is the case that the Mishnah had in mind. Even though it was done b'rishus, you're still liable. Now, what exactly happened? How direct was the damage? If the hezek happened as he was tossing it out, it's direct damage. It's personal damage. It's your koyach. Of course you're chayiv. It happened after it was placed in the street and somebody sort of tripped over it. Once again, hechi dami. Let's continue. What happened? Idaf kirinu, it was hefker. Bein l'rav, bein l'shmani bar. It's just another variation of bar. Why? Maishna bar. Why was it different than bar? Tchilas asiyas l'nezek, right? Mamaycha, shmar lecha, haninam here as well. Has the same elements as bar. Tchilas asiyas l'nezek. As soon as it was placed in the street, it's a potential source of hezek. Mamaycha, shmar lecha. You have to look after it. So it's just like in a bar. Eldel Green was speaking that he was not mafkir. Once again, the same story. The Shmuel, the Amar Kulam Bar Lamad, according to Shmuel, even this case can be derived from bar. So it's another example of bar, hanu bar. No need to discuss this separately. Loyal Nafkirina, you're right, he made it hefker. Well, bar is still not comparable to bar 100%. You know why? Your typical bar digger has no permission to do so. Of course he's chayiv. As opposed to these fellows who have a license to do so. So perhaps you're not as chayiv. Well, what do you mean? Shari chiyach. Shar, the chayiv upon one's shar's actions. Shar is allowed to walk in the street. He has rishus to do that. Still you're chayiv. So that disproves this notion. Well, mala shar shkein darkelech lahazik. Shar is an advantage over all of these because he's running out and mazik. You have to look at. So bar b'techiyach. Once again, bar comes to the rescue and says no. Even without this element of the darkelech lahazik, he's still chayiv. And this sort of takes us back and forth, and that's why we concluded it's ala shava of the Mishnah. Bottom line is, it's your thing. You have to look after your chayiv, including this diverted sewer system. Ravina Amar, I'll give you another example of what the Mishnah had in mind. Something mentioned in the Mishnah. A person had a wall, a tree near the street, and it collapsed into the street, and it caused damage. I'm not responsible. I couldn't anticipate that. But let's say it was sort of a shaky structure, and the Bezdin, the city gave him a warning. Nosno Izman, they gave him a 30-day summons. Nosno Izman Loketz as a Elon to chop off the tree. Velistas Akoislo to demolish the threatening wall. V'naflu b'sech Azman v'Yiziku, and they collapsed within that time allotment and caused damage. He's still potter. He's innocent because it happened too soon. But la'achar azman, if it was after the 30-day period, he's chayiv. And that's what the Mishnah had in mind. Even this is a perfect chiyuv. Hey chidam. Again, what happened? DAF gerinu. If the owner allowed the stones or the tree in the street to become hefker, and subsequently they caused damage, bein l'rab and l'shmol, it's just another example of hanu bar. Right? There's no need to discuss this. Ma'ishna bar. Why would it be any different than bar? That's okay. Matzoi. It's very common for animals to fall into a bar. Ushmar and therefore you're obligated to look after it. Haninam here as well. Zekan matzoi. Shmasin alecha. Idul afkarin if it's still yours. So once again, the Shmuel the Amar kulam bar lamado. According to Shmuel says this too. It's just another variation of bar. Hanu bar. Okay. Lo'il afkarin. True. He made it hefker. Well, the it's still not similar to bar. You know why? The bar was established as a potential mazik. A pit in the street is a mazik. Terabani, as opposed to a tree growing in your backyard or a retaining wall near your property, he didn't plant it to be mazik. It wasn't as a mazik. It was an innocent looking tree, innocent structure. and then it turned into a mazik. So it's very different than a bar. Perhaps you're not responsible. Well, that notion could be totally knocked down because shariach liability resulting from a shur's action, that disproves this notion. Because a shur is not called chilas asyas l'nezek. His existence isn't an expression of nezek. So apparently that's not required for chiyuv. Well, shur has another advantage going for him. He goes out and he does damage. Well, bar doesn't have that, and you're still chay. But chazar, this takes us back and forth. What's the tad hashava? What's the common denominator amongst all of these? It's your thing. It's under your care. You neglect your responsibilities, you have to pay. Likewise, the case of the tree, of the wall, the street, you're chayiv. So bottom line, the last line of the Mishnah, what's it coming to include? We have 4 options. The Avnes Akinim Asoy, which were up on the roof and came flying down. We explained why it's a chiddush and why it needs to be included. Rava's case, Bar Misgalgil, he left something in the street which was tossed around and then damaged. Rather, Barava's case, the waste waters, etc., which caused hezek, you chayiv despite the fact that you have rishus to do so. Going to Ravina, it's coming to include the tree and the wall that landed in the street. The Mishnah says, in all cases, keshehizik, chav hamazik. So the owner who perpetuated this damage has to pay. What does chav mean? It should say chayav. Chav hamazik? Chayav hamazik m'boyle. The correct lashon would be chayav. Rabbi Yehuda, Rav. Rabbi Yehuda Anasar, Rabbi HaKadosh, who compiled this Mishnah, was just quoting the Tana of this Mishnah, who was from Eretz Yisrael. He spoke this way, in short form, concisely. Hi Tana, Yerushalmi, he's from Yerushalayim. The Tani Lishna, clearly they speak in concise form. And the Mishnah says, you have to pay the best of your properties. If you choose to pay property, the best, meitav. L'shalom tashlumi nezek mi meitav haaretz. Tana Rabbanon. So the pasuk speaks about an animal who chewed up, his neighbor's crop. The owner comes to pay some property. As a retribution, he pays from the best. Meitav sadeu, meitav karma yishalem. Who's best? Meitav sadeu shal nizak, or meitav karma shal nizak. Divrei Rabbi Shmuel. So according to Rabbi Shmuel, at this point in the Gemara, we understand that Rabbi Shmuel is saying that if the animal ate, let's say, a patch of tomatoes, you take a close look at your friend's farm, you look through all his patches, he has, some that grew less, some that grew more, you have to pay him back the best. An amount which equals the value, the highest value patch in his backyard, which is a chiddush, which we're going to ask him, where's the fairness, right? He ate merely, 10 tomatoes, you're giving him back 100? Okay, we'll see. So initially, that's what we think Rabbi Kiva is saying, the best. Rabbi Kiva, no. No. All the Torah is saying is, look, whatever damage he actually did, $50, okay, and I want to pay him back, from my property, $50 worth. I can't, do the, inferior quality property. I have to give him the best, but it's still $50 worth, no more. The amount which reflects the actual damage. And certainly, with regards to repayment to Hegdish, which the Gemara will explain a little bit later. Now let's go back to Rabbi Shmuel. How can that be that I pay more than I did? But Rabbi Shmuel, Achal Shmeina, I understand if he ate up, the best patch, Mishalm Shmeina, $100 worth, pay $100. Achal Kchusha, Mishalm Shmeina, why do you have to pay Shmeina? The value of the best patch, if you only ate a Kchusha, a weak one, a low quality, a poor quality, a sparsely, populated patch of tomatoes. How does that work? Amra Vida Barav. My Skinner was speaking, we don't know, we're not sure which one he ate. So you can't take chances, you have to pay the best. He ate, he ate up a patch. Bein Aruga is amongst his patches. Now, some of them have 50 tomatoes, some 100. Well, the idea, we're not sure. Did he eat the sparse one? Ishmeina achal, or the plump one. to Mishal Shmeni, you have to give the best. You have to assume the worst. If his best one is 100, pay 100. I'm a Rava. Once again, how could that be? When it comes to dinei mominus, monetary issues, you have to prove your case. The onus is on the claimer. Uma ilu yadiran. Suppose, theoretically, imagine we know exactly how much he ate. The kchusha achal. He ate, the poor quality patch. How much does he pay? Only $50. Le'mishalom l'kchusha. Hash le'adina. Now what we don't know, that bumps it up. Le'adina l'kchusha. We're not sure if he ate this one. Ishmei achal, the better one. Mishalom shmeni has to pay as if he ate a better one. Hamayitzim mechavel v'raya. The other fellow has to prove his case. Elam Rav Acha bar Yaakov. Of course, you only pay exactly what you damaged. No question about that. You ate $50, you gave $50. But as we explained, if you decide to pay from your property, you have to give the best, the edis. But again, only $50 worth of property, but the best quality property. So what's the machlekes about? What are Rabbi Shmuel and Rabbi Kiva arguing about? It's a question of how to appraise. We're speaking about a case like this. So we have, A property, quality A, called Idis. We have quality B, called Ziburis. Okay? Idis the Nizik, Ziburis the Mazik. So the Mazik's name is Ruven. Okay? He has quality A and quality B. The Nizak, the victim, call him Shimon, also has, quality A and quality B. Problem is, Shimon's quality A, his idis, falls somewhere in the middle between Ruvain's quality A and quality B. So Ruvain's quality A surpasses in value Shimon's quality A. So now when Ruvain's looking to pay Karka, he has to pay the best, idis. His idis, which is above and beyond Shimon's idis, or, sorry, let me redo that. Reuben had idis and Ziburis, right? A and B, and Shimon had A and B. Let's just correct that. Shimon's A equals in value Reuben's quality B. So now, when Reuben wants to pay $50 worth of damages, and he's going to give idis, of course, the Torah says Meitav Sadeh, the best. Does he have to give his best, which is way above Shimon's best, or can he suffice? Can he get away with his own quality B, which is on the same level as Shimon's quality A? So technically, it's also idis relative to Shimon. That's the question. That's the machlekes. We focus on the mazik or on the nizik, but it's all just about paying the right amount. So again, Elam Rav Acha bar Yaakov, we're speaking idis the nizik. Quality A of the nizik was equal Kiziburis the mazik as quality B of the mazik. That's the point of machlekes. Which one does Reuben have to pay? Rabbi Shmuel said, Rabbi the nizik sheminan. Reuben can get away with just giving quality B because it's equal to the idis of the nizik. Rabbi Kiva said, no, you have to give the best of your portfolio. But the mazik sheminan. My time. So what's the machlekes? My time with Rabbi Shmuel. Why does he say we focus on the nizak? Never sadel mata. You see, the pasuk says the animal went and chewed up. Stay bisdei acher. Whose field? The victim's field. So what do? Meitav sadeyu, the best of his field. We assume we're speaking about the same owner. It ate his field and the best of his fields. So it's all about focusing on the victim's fields. He determines quality. He determines level. Never sadal amat. We have the word sad at the end of the pasuk. Meitav sadeyu yishalan, in terms of what you have to pay. But never sadal amal. You have it back in the beginning of the pasuk. He damaged the sada. Ma sada amar lamala. Just like up there in the beginning of the pasuk, the sada is the nizak. It's discussing the victim's field, the victim's properties. Af sada amar lamala, the nizak likewise. Meitav sadeyu. It's all about evaluating based on the nizak's field. So, as long as it fits the nizak's idus, you're good. Rabbi Kiva says no. Meitav sadeyu. It says meitav sadeyu, meitav karma yishalim. Right? It's all about the person paying, the perpetrator. Meitav sadeyu, meitav karma yishalim is going on who? On Reuven. Da'ayich to come yishalim. His best. You can't get away with your second best just because, right? Rabbi Shmuel says like this. You're right. So basically, we have conflicting indicators, right? We have the Gzera Shava, Sada. It's about the victim, right? It's a term by the victim, and then we have, the actual basic meaning of the pasuk. Meitav Sadei Yishalom, he pays his best field, which is on the mazik. So which way do you go? Okay, so Rabbi Shmuel will apply both. We can learn from both. Ahani Gzera Shava, we can use the Gzera Shava, that it's about the nizak, Ahani Kra, and we can apply the simple pshat of the pasuk, which indicates that it's the mazik. How? How do we apply the Gzera Shava that is focusing on the nizak, the kamin, as we said before? Reuben can give his quality B, which equals Shimon's quality A. Ahanikra. How do we apply the actual, basic meaning of the pasuk, which is a reference to the mazik? Because at times, you're right, at times, he's going to have to give based on his own quality. If you go into Islay Lamazik, Idis Viziburis. Okay, so this is very similar, but slightly different. So the Mazik Reuben has A and B, Idis and Ziburis. The Idis Linizik or Dinizik, Viziburis the Mazik Lo Shavik Idis and Nizik. So the Mazik has Idis and Ziburis, and the Nizik has also Idis and Ziburis, let's say. But this time it falls right in the middle. Instead of the Nizik, Shimon's Idis, equaling Ruvain's Ziburis, it falls in between Ruvain's Idis and Ziburis. So now, it's a bit tricky. Before we said that Reuven can get away with his Ziburis because it equals Shimon's Idis, but now it doesn't. It's below. It falls right below it. So which one does Reuven have to pay? Can he get away with his Ziburis or no? Does he have to upgrade to his Idis? Which is really a bit more than he should have paid, but that's the only option. And that's what the pasuk is saying. In this case, you got to give your best. With Ziburis, the mazik l'shavik Idis the nizik, and the poor quality of the mazik doesn't match up to the best of the nizik, because the best of the nizik falls in between. In this case, you got to go up. You have to give your best. You can't tell him, Ta'at gabim ziburis, come take my poor quality, because it's not enough. Rather, he gives his best, and that's what the pasuk means. Meitav sadei yishalim, in this case only. Okay, let's summarize today's daf. The Mishnah concluded with a statement, Keshehizik chava mazik, right? We're coming to include a case which apparently wasn't mentioned in the Mishnah, and the Gemara gave us 4 options. Chav hamazik is a short form, in line with the Tana from Yerushalayim. You have to pay meitav, tashlume meitav ha'aretz. So we have 2 pshatim. We have Rabbi Kiva who says it's all about the mazik's top quality, according to Bishmael. Actually, you can get away with the nizik's quality, except in this case where it's sort of falling between the cracks. In this case, you got to go up and give your best. Rakiva actually mentioned another point, which is Kabachayim Hegdish, which we'll discuss Be'ez Hashem in tomorrow's daf. All the best to you, Psuras Toivus, and Atzlacha Rabbah.